30 years later, Carrie Kirchick still remembers his eyes.
I never knew what he looked like other than I knew the color of his eyes.
In 1985, a man crawled through her apartment door in North Dallas and attacked her.
He came immediately to my bedside and had me turn over, and he wrapped what felt like a leather strap around my wrist.
She says he sexually assaulted her and then threatened to kill her.
I was crying so bad and sobbing that it really bothered him. And he had a gun to my head, and he said he would kill me if I wouldn't stop sobbing.
Eventually he left. Carrie called police and went to a hospital. Medical professionals used a rape kit to collect evidence, including possible DNA. Decades went by without any idea who raped her.
I just knew that I would, until I took my last breath, that I would be searching for him.
At the time of her rape, DNA testing wasn't around. It wasn't until technology advanced that law enforcement came up with a national database called CODIS. CODIS is where DNA profiles are stored from crime scenes, convicted offenders, and missing persons. So when police get DNA from a crime scene, they run it through CODIS looking for a match. Dallas police ran the DNA from Carrie's rape kit in 2003.
There was nothing in CODIS to match my perpetrator.
But what police did find was whoever raped Carrie had raped 3 other women in Dallas and 2 in Shreveport. Still, years went by until forensic genetic genealogy came along. Michael Coble runs the DNA lab for UNT's Health Science Center in Fort Worth.
When we use the genealogy, we're searching databases to find individuals that share a high proportion of their DNA with you.
In other words, genealogists use family tree DNA connections and can match a relative to a suspect's DNA profile, helping law enforcement identify a potential lead. Randy White is a special agent with the FBI.
We take that information and then we start combing through publicly available records like we would on another investigation and trying to find connections where that person could possibly have been at the time or location of this offense.
To be clear, law enforcement does not have access to databases like 23andMe or Ancestry.com. So if you've submitted saliva for testing to one of those public sites, your DNA profile will not be shared with law enforcement unless you agree it can be shared and uploaded to a separate site used by law enforcement.
We don't have access to every database. That's not how it works. It's only databases that work with law enforcement.
Still, law enforcement has been successful in matching some suspects using the limited genealogy databases available to them.
The technology has been a real game changer for law enforcement.
In 2021, Carrie heard about forensic genealogy and contacted DPD and the district attorney's office to try it on her case. Leighton D'Antoni is the Dallas County prosecutor that looks at cold cases.
I got an email from a woman, and she just kind of was telling me this incredible case about unsolved serial rapist in Dallas.
So he took the case to the FBI to run a forensic genealogy profile, which is also called a SNP profile.
We identified our suspect within 24 hours.
DNA pointed to this man, David Thomas Hawkins, but the match was just a lead.
They were able to put the suspect under surveillance, get some discarded trash. The DNA profile from that discarded trash was an exact match to the 6 cases we knew we had DNA on, the 4 in Dallas, the 2 in Shreveport, and the crime lab said it was a 1 in 10 trillion chance that it wasn't him.
Carrie took pictures on the day she got the news.
This is the day that David Thomas Hawkins was captured. This was the morning.
Law enforcement believes forensic genealogy will help them solve not only cold cases, but current cases where the suspect's DNA isn't in the CODIS database.
I think it's unquestionably the biggest breakthrough in investigative technique in my career, and I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg.
But the forensic genealogy is expensive and most departments don't have the funds. But soon, UNT's DNA lab will be fully accredited to do forensic genealogy, and law enforcement agencies will be able to get the test done for free.
35 years.
5 years?
Yes.
Oh.
Carrie Kirchick says she would never have been able to confront her rapist in court without the technology.
I asked him to take off his mask. I wanted to see his face.
Then she read a statement.
David Thomas Hawkins, my wish for you is that you take your last breath in prison and that you burn in hell.
Hawkins was sentenced to life. This is the most recent photo. Carrie wanted to see it.
Same eyes, same monster. That's what I see. I see a monster. I didn't deserve that.
In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez.